I remember it like it was yesterday. I opened up YouTube and, though in poor taste now, my favourite YouTuber at the time posted his first episode of his Ebe playthrough. I remember being so enthralled at the pixel graphics and how I found the story and situation so fascinating. Ebe, a game about a girl that travels through a fabricated world in a gallery and has to find her way out. Along the way, she meets other characters, and through certain options and decisions, it changes how the game ends. Before I go into all the story bits of why I truly love the game, I should probably express my experience with games. When I was younger, I always had an issue with anxiety with gaming. Overall, it was probably just anxiety in general. When I died in a game, I felt like I just shouldn't continue playing. I was a bad player. This was it. I couldn't possibly learn to be any better than this. I tried my hardest and yet I still failed. So when I was going into why I love it, I was always going to have a bias towards this game because I died in this game, yet I continued to play without the feeling of anxiety that I usually have. I think this may have lended towards it being a horror game, that I was supposed to be scared and it was okay to die because that's the point of a horror game, to be scared and not want to die in it. I know it might sound childish, but something with such simple graphics and quite erratic movements of enemies got me. It terrified me almost, this idea that a small child had died at my hands, but it didn't stop me playing. Ebe was the first game I ever completed, so it's always going to mean a lot to me, and that's why I wanted to make this video, to let you know how much I love this. This isn't a video to persuade you to play the game, this is just a video expressing why I love it so much. I'm an artist at heart, so I was always going to love something set in an art gallery. I love horror, so a gallery that's trying to kill you, the premise was right there for me at the get-go. The idea of this girl having to navigate through this world of solving puzzles and avoiding horror was a really fun idea to me. I enjoyed each area though. Probably surprisingly, I loved the ant room the most, which is right at the beginning of the game. In the ant room there is a tiny ant on the floor that you can talk to. You think, oh how cute! Eventually you'll find his painting and go along a corridor. Going into a room you needed the painting to cross over a gap. Place it down, the ant on the painting is squashed. You run from a mannequin, it falls through, and you go back to the ant, it's unmoving, and that's when you're introduced to the idea that this world is real. Even the things within the world can die, let alone just you. Whatever is killed in it is dead forever. Moving on, you meet your other characters, Gary. He helps you by doing heavy lifting, has more rose petals than you, so he can do a lot more things, and he's on his own than when he's with Ebe. Gary's main anxiety point for me was when he was in the doll room. The lights go down, the time keeps ticking, and you're filled with dread as you're trying to desperately find this key to get out. During this time, Ebe is with a friend that we've just met called Mary. They go through the rest of the gallery solving puzzles before they can meet up with Gary again. Eventually you come to an end where you make a choice. That leads on to the characters. I've always loved the idea of Ebe. It's interesting to play from the perspective of a young child. Is this scary for a child? Sometimes we see her have nightmares, and sometimes we see her see the creepy things as cute, like the perspectives of the bunny from the doll room. She seems to be a courageous girl that deals with a lot at a young age. Moving on to Gary. I've always liked Gary. He's a scaredy cat at heart, but he also has a very kind heart for those around him. The idea that he's at this age and still scared shows that there's strength in Ebe's character. It also backs up her character too. I love his design, and I love that he's really androgynous. I love Mary. I absolutely adore Mary. She's a misunderstood girl that's just struggling to understand what it's like to be human, and yet she yearns for it. I wonder how alone she must have felt all this while, and while it doesn't stop her actions, killing others to be a human bad, I can't help but feel sad and upset every time I burn her painting near the end. Moving on to the visuals. Visually, this game made me love RPG Maker games. It gives such a wave of nostalgia to see the pixel art and also feels so fresh due to how mainstream games are going for that hyper-realistic look. I still love it nonetheless. I appreciate the style, and as someone who wants to make art for games one day, this showed me the path of what I want to go down, as well as showing so many unique areas. We go through this pixel area and then we go into the toy box and it's this beautiful crayon world. There really is such a variety here, and it made me love the game even deeper. Finally, the sound. I can't finish this video without mentioning the sound. There's two favourite tracks of mine here. There's Mary's music box theme, so it's her main theme. As soon as we meet her, it almost unsettles you having this music behind it. This fictional world she's built, it all feels like fiction from just this song. It feels like a toy, it feels like something that can't be touched, because it does sound like a music box. It feels like you're a child and you're perpetually stuck in that form, just like Mary always has been. So it was really nice to see that. After After all, it might sound like something you'd hear from a puppet. Mary kind of is a puppet if you think about it. She just wants to get into the human world. Then finally, there's Gary's theme. I love this theme. It always relaxes me and calms me whenever I hear it, which I think pulls off Gary's character really well. He's supposed to be someone that soothes you. He's supposed to be someone that soothes this child that's scared and has someone to trust and look up to. It's perfectly introduced. It suits his messy yet comforting design and personality, and it really does make you feel at ease. Then a really random one here. I actually really love the game over music. It's kind of upbeat. It never makes me feel upset when I hear it. I almost want to hear it again. Every time I do die, it makes me want to keep going again. And I think that's what makes it a really good game, that even a song can make me want to keep playing it. So finally, onto my final thoughts. I think I'll always have a place of nostalgia for Ebe, and it will always be a game that I love. From working hard to trying to get the ending I want, to the heartbreak and the fear that it gives me. I love all the small things about it, like Carrie Careless. I love that little story. The doll room, I love the characters, the setting and the music, all of it. It makes me feel so happy, and it feels like a home for me. And for that, thank you, Ebe. You helped me grow and advance and figure out what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be, and you helped me to play games, and something that I was so anxious over, it helped me so deeply. And I feel like I can only keep growing from you. So thank you for helping me grow. Thank you for watching my video. Usually I would be discussing things that I want to see or critiquing something, but I just wanted to share something that I loved so deeply. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.